right, what's up? Charlie and I are back up in Ohio. This is Wapakoneta, I guess how you say it. That's the Neil Armstrong Museum. That's where he's from. Here's this town. We're gonna check out some stuff here. Charlie's a space guy, rocket guy, I guess mostly. He likes the rockets and all that. I don't know jack crap about it, but I think it's all cool to see. So figured, what
That's
the heck,
the
we come on up here.
Apollo
There's some
11
Apollo 11
Charlie and
stuff. This is downtown.
Independence.
This is the dudes who got the astronauts out of the water there when they landed in the ocean. The big space helmet statue sort of deal there with a mirror in it. Just some other stuff here. The moon landing, all that crap going on. There's another statue down the way here. We'll go check out of Neil Armstrong and a little mural on the wall. Then we'll head back over to the museum here in just a second. There's a statue of Armstrong. I think this was from a parade after he got back. So he was the first man on the moon, which had to be pretty freaking awesome. Unless, of course, you're one of those idiots who think that was staged, like that was something they could do back then.
That's
Uh,
cool.
but
Mural
there's a
up there.
moron out there for everything. There's a cool mural up on the wall there above the statue too. This is all just downtown. Kind of see a little sign there on the post. There's a bunch of astronauts apparently from Ohio, and there's more of them down through town. But this is where he was from, Neil Armstrong. So we're just gonna check out his stuff. This is outside his museum. One of the planes that he flew. There's a few planes out here. We'll uh, we'll head in. We got here as the museum opened that day. Uh, a gaggle of annoying senior citizens were getting out of the Waffle House. Maybe had a little too much caffeine. We were sandwiched between them. They were in front of us, and then a group behind us with two kids that were too young to care about any of this. So yeah, everybody's gotta ruin anything. It'll be done by morons out there. Don't take your kids to a museum like this. If your kids are too young to give a crap, they ain't gonna care. And then just shut your mouth. Don't ruin it. We'll go in and try to avoid it. Luckily, there was a movie. When you go into the theater sort of deal at a lot of these museums, they're playing some junk movie that you've seen usually better footage of on YouTube. Thankfully, the old people, most of them stopped at that, and we got ahead of them and away from them. But it's a cool museum. It's supposed to be kind of designed like it'd be some sort of moon base. Looks cool at night too. We came the night before just to check it out, see what it looked like, and it does look cool at night. But we'll head in and check out some of the stuff that's inside here.
It'll be warm inside. It'll be warmer than it is out here for sure.
Yeah. Actually, even if it was the same temperature, at least there wouldn't be the heat.
I don't know, you must have missed medication now, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. I forgot my memories.
And you could hear those old people talking there. There's a big group of them. I don't know, 6 or 8 of them. Came out of the Waffle House across the road and walked over here. I don't know why you got to talk so loud in a museum, but some people don't have the brain to realize they're not the only people in the world. But I'll try to avoid that as much as possible in here. Was checking out some of the Gemini stuff, Gemini Pod or whatever, I guess is what it's called. Gemini 8 maybe. Check it out. It's over here right beside this suit. Um, it was real cool to see. Armstrong, another astronaut, went up. There it is. Went up in this and spent a bunch of time in this. There was some issues with it. You can read about that on Wikipedia if you want. And then they made it safely back. They were up there for a long time. I don't remember how many days, but they were up there for quite a bit of time in this. I reckon they smelled pretty foul when it was opened back up when they landed on Earth. But cool to see here. just checking things out. One other thing that is always kind of annoying: guided tours and museums. Some people like that, and that's all fine. Uh, I don't like it, which is also fine. There was some of that going on here. You could avoid it, and we tried to avoid it as best as possible. But I mean, it's not for me. I'd rather go at my own pace and read this stuff as I want. David Scott was the other astronaut that was in this thing with Armstrong. He's still alive. You can read about him too on Wikipedia. He's got his own article there. He later landed on the moon too. This didn't land on the moon. This was just going into orbit. He was on one of the Apollo missions, 15 maybe, something like that. He did later land on the moon too. Here's some of the Apollo stuff going into that later timeline there for Neil Armstrong. There's some cool stuff in here. Some cool suits. Here's a cool suit. I don't know anything about any of these. I just know it looks cool. And then there's a moon rock here we'll check out in a second too. I've seen another one. I think maybe it was at in Alabama, Huntsville, at the Space Center there, Space and Rocket Center or whatever it's called. Maybe that's where it was, but definitely cool to see the one here. We'll check out in just a second too.
Oh, wow. They're going into the mirror room that's got all the sparkles and I'm not yellow.
Oh,
We brought back several moon rocks back in the day, back when we used to do cool stuff like that. Uh, Now we can't even hardly get to outer space. NASA can't. We got Elon getting us there, but we did bring back several back in the day. Uh, the old Russians, I think they brought a few back too. They had some probes and stuff laying on the moon, some robotic junk, but they never got a man on the moon anyway. Uh, so we beat them to that game. I think they beat us to space, but we got the rocks. We landed on the moon. Here, this was cool. This I think was called the Infinity Room. Uh, it's supposed to sort of simulate what it feels like being in space. It doesn't translate as well over camera as it did just to walk through here. One cool thing, one of those old women, she was afraid to walk through here. She turned around with her 1993 NASCAR jacket that probably hadn't been washed since 1997. She hightailed it out of here. I guess headed back outside to the safety of her Virginia Slims. But this was cool. Some of the junk, showed how they'd eat, drink in space, deal with all that. Uh, yeah, I thought the Coke and the Pepsi cans there were cool. And then there's old Nixon, Nixon and Armstrong. Nixon famous for uh, his part in Forrest Gump. I don't know what happened to him after that. And then here's some paintings here. There's Armstrong. There's some other artwork, but we'll wrap it up here and get out of here. Get away from these folks who annoyed us for at least half the trip, half the time to the museum. But the museum was cool as long as you can get in there without, and just like any museum, without dealing with the people. But we're going to head on out, finish this one up.